Let's see if this is on. All right, Shalom. Shalom. Yeah, seem to be on good. Coming to you in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutes unto the Akim out there that continue to push the word in truth and in sincerity. It's the brother Yeram Yashramah. And I'm coming to you with this quick lesson. It's going to be a real quick one. Did my lesson early today because I have to head out soon. But as the title says, Apocryphal Truths, the scriptures corroborate, man, because the whole thing's going on about the Apocrypha right now. But listen, man, the Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures, okay? Point blank period, man. The Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures, man, okay? Because it was, I might do a lesson on the history of how it came to be the Apocrypha, how the separation of the books happened over different councils and different times. That's another lesson in itself because it's quite lengthy. If you're going to get into it, you've got to get into it. But through the literature and the content itself of the Apocrypha, it clearly adds up with that of the scriptures, man. Okay. And today, quickly, I just want to show that the account of Daniel, they usually coin the story, term it Daniel and the lion's den. Well, that story is in the book of Daniel within the Bible, and it's also in the Apocrypha, man. Okay. Now, when you open up the Apocrypha, right? Because I've got the Apocrypha on screen, right? But I've got the book version as well. And when you, what page is that? Bell and the Dragon, right? I believe that's 111. Yep, 111. I just read it, but let me go to it again, just in case I'm not bugging out. It says the history of the destruction of Bel and the Dragon. Okay. Then in small, that's the title, right? And then under that, it says cut off from the end of Daniel. Daniel where? Okay, Daniel who? Daniel the prophet. Daniel where? Daniel in the Bible, man. It clearly says the history of the destruction of Bel and the Dragon cut off from the end of Daniel, man. Okay. So the history of Bel and the Dragon was once a part, one and the same as the literature that you read in the book of Daniel, man. Because in the scriptures, right, there never used to be such thing as chapter and verse, man. It was just writings, okay? It was the Roman Catholic Church that instituted chapter and verse, okay? And that was at the start of the Holy Roman Catholic Empire, or the Holy Roman Empire, okay? Well, whilst they were just, reviewing scriptures and whatnot, and that's where you got what do you call it, chapter and verse, man, which is for reference point. Okay, so if you want to go to somewhere, you ain't got to read through the whole book to get to that one line you're trying to understand, or whatever the case may be. If you chapter things up, verse things up, okay, then it's easy for referencing. Okay, and that was done by the Spirit of the Lord, man. A lot of people say, yeah, I don't believe the Bible because it was chaptered and verse by the Catholics. Well, hold on a second. The Lord allowed it to go down like that. The Lord made it go down like that. The Lord wanted it to go on like that, because how would we then have reference of the precepts when we're on the highways and the byways and when we're teaching? We'd have to read through the whole account. Oh yeah, I think it's somewhere around the middle. That would just be a shambles, man. Okay, that would be unorderly. That would be a shambles, and it would be a waste of time. But if you know at cool, chapter 6, verse 4, you know, or chapter 1, verse 10, you could just quickly go to that and boom, you hit your precept, man. So if you want to know the real reason, okay, the spiritual reason as to why the Catholic Church put chapters and verses throughout the scriptures, is because the Lord made them do that so that when his prophets were out there teaching in these last days, it would be easy to read through the scriptures and navigate through the scriptures, okay, on a logistical level. That's the reason, okay. But as we know, the Apocrypha, which means hidden, I believe, um, it was taken out, man. But why? Because there's a lot of truths in the Apocrypha that shed light on certain situations that is undeniable, man. You know, really pertaining to the Israelites, man. And it would have been extremely harder than it already was to hide our identity had the Apocrypha stayed in the scriptures, man. You know, or what people thought was and wasn't relevant. Okay, but the Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures, man. Okay, but then you've got also scriptures out there that's not. I'm gonna hit the precepts in a second, but you've got scriptures out there uh that's not a part of the actual scriptures, man. A part of the divine inspirational writings, man. Case in point, you've got the book of Jasher or the Yasha, then you've got the book of Enoch. Okay, now Enoch did have a book, but the current version out there for the public to purchase and read is not the original book of Enoch. Okay. Now, was Enoch a man of the Lord? Yes. Enoch himself was translated, man. I believe. Okay. You know, so he was a heavy spirit in the history of things, man. You know. Okay. So he wouldn't have gone off with his writings, but then the Catholic Church basically rewrit some bullshit and just put it as the book of Enoch, you know? So the current book of Enoch is not scriptural, man. It doesn't add up to the Bible, okay? Neither does it corroborate the Apocrypha, which is a part of the Bible anyway. Same with the book of Yasha, man. Or Jasher, however you say it, man. You know? But anyways, to this example, uh, in the book of Daniel, in the Bible, I'm going to read through the whole thing and read through a couple of the verses. Daniel chapter, uh, I'm going to start from verse. And Daniel was high up in the Babylonian society, man. As in, he had a high position, man, even uh above like governors and stuff, man. Here it is, and in Daniel 6:2 it says, and over these three presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give account unto them, and to the king should have no damage, and the king should have no damage. So among the presidents, Daniel was the first, so he was pretty much damn near under the king. Okay, you know. Give me 1 second. Oh man. Yeah, sorry about that. But Daniel was damn near under the king, if not, well, that is, he reported to the king, so he was under the king, man. Okay. And it says that then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion. In fact, let me read verse 3. And it says, then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes because an excellent spirit was in him. Why? Because the spirit of the Lord was in him. Okay. And the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Okay. So Daniel was the man, you know. And it says, because of that, other people got jealous, other presidents. It says, then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel. Because bearing in mind, Daniel was not one of their people, man. Daniel, Daniel was or as Daniel is a Hebrew man, and in this at that time also was a Hebrew man. He was an Israelite. Okay, you know, so like I'm all over the place, man. Verse 4, and it says, then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. So he was a perfect man. Why? Because he said there was an excellent spirit within him. And what's that excellent spirit? It's the spirit of the Lord. Okay. If you go down a bit, you know, and then to verse 6 says, then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. And all the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save thee, O king, he shall be cast into the lion's den. And to pray is to petition, is to beg, to supplicate. So what they're saying is anybody that prays to anyone else except you for the next 30 days, put him in the lion's den. All right? And you ain't got to guess or think twice of what happened in the lion's den. All right? It's not a party, man. Well, it is for the lions. you know. Now, verse 8, now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes or the Persians, which altereth not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his power, as he did aforetime. I know the word aforetime means before. So Daniel weren't just doing this to be like, oh, cool. Now that they said you can't pray, I'ma pray. Now Daniel was praying. Daniel been praying, man, and it says that he knew that the decree had been signed by the king, and that didn't stop him. That didn't make him nervous. Guess what? He still went into his chamber, his room, and prayed, man. You know, and his window was open. So they would have been able, they saw through and saw Daniel praying, man, you know. But it says these men assembled. So they actually assembled to see, yeah, now the king signed a decree. Let's see if Daniel's still gonna pray. So in verse 11 it says, then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his power, before his God. And they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man. So, because the king probably would have been like, but that's Daniel, though, man. That's my man. But then they brought it up to the king. But hast thou not signed a decree? Hast thou not signed a decree that every man shall ask a petition of any power or any god or man within 30 days, save thee, O king, apart from you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? And the king answered and said, this thing is true, according to the Lord of Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. So the king had to be bound by his word and seal, and the law of the Medes and the Persians, man. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. Yeah, because the king pretty much had love for Daniel, man. Okay, Daniel was the king's right hand man, so he was pissed off within himself. Ah, shit, these niggas trapped me. You know, they didn't tell me it was Daniel, but I've done said yeah, it's true and it can't change. You know, but he said nah, man, I'm gonna try and deliver Daniel, man. You know, okay. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. So they were just saying, listen, man, tough, you can't change it. To hell with Daniel. The king commanded that they brought Daniel and cast him into the lion's den. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy power whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. Hey, so the king was showing faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you know. Okay, that's a heathen showing faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And that's not anything uncommon, man. The Lord's put the spirit on heathens to prophesy, you know, in many a times, man. You know, for a purpose, okay? In verse 18, the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting, so he didn't even eat, neither were the instruments or music brought before him, and his sleep went from him, so he couldn't sleep. He didn't want no music around him, didn't want no food. Okay, and that's that. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said, O Daniel, servant of the living God. And so the king knew, man, that all their gods were bullshit, man. He knew that Daniel's power was the true power. Why? Because he saw the power of the true God, the true power through Daniel, man, through the excellent spirit that was within him. Okay? That's why he said, O Daniel, servant of the living power, the living God. Is thy God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God have sent his angel, okay, and have shut the lions' mouths, you know, and they have not hurt me, for as much as before, uh, for as much as before him, innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. You know, so the Lord, you know the rest of the story, man. You know, most of us were taught this story as children. Okay, so the point being is that the Lord delivered Daniel, man, you know, from the lion's den. Now if you head over to Bell and the Dragon, uh is pretty much the same story, man. You know, the Babylonians had an idol called Bel, and when and were set upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour, so and 40 um, sheep and 6 vessels of wine. So they used to put down food before the idol, man. You know, you know. and they had the priests. I ain't gonna read through the whole account. You can read it in your own time. Better than the dragon, but they had priests that would um officiate in the service of this. Forgive me. That was officiate in the service of this idol, man. What Daniel refused. Okay, you know. Verse 25. Then Daniel said, I'm just reading key point through, and Daniel said unto the king, I will worship the Lord, my power, for he is the living power. He's the living God. Okay, you know. And pretty much it got to the point where the king said, well, listen, you're trying to say that this idol's fake? And he said, well, cool, give it food. And if it's not gone by the morning, then I know that it's fake. But if it's gone by the morning, then verily this idol lives, man, when you read through the account. But in the wicked priests of this idol, they had a door within the chamber of the idol that they would sneak in and try and eat all the food and then say that the idol ate it, man. But then Daniel delivered them. He sussed them out, told the king, look, man, there's a door here that they went in with their families and ate, you know? Okay. And it says here in verse, that's later on, but it says here in verse 30, like I said, Salaki, man, all over the place, but hey, and it said, and I ain't gonna edit this, man, I'm just gonna put it on raw. Verse 30, it says, now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days. So Daniel went into the lion's den, man. And didn't we not read that in the book of Daniel, chapter 6? You know? And when you read the Apocrypha, the actual book, when you open it up, man, it says at the start of Bull and the Dragon, as I said earlier, cut off from the end of Daniel, man. So this would have been a reiteration of the story in more depth at the end of the book of Daniel, man. You know? Okay. You know? And when Daniel sussed out that when Daniel told the king that they had put a private door, okay, you know, he basically um dealt with those wicked priests of the dragon, man, of Bel, the idol. Okay, you know, and it says here also that he also took out, what do you call it, Daniel from the lion's den when he went there, man. You know, and the king cried, saying, great art thou, O Lord, power of Daniel, you know, and there's none other besides thee. And was not the king also happy in Daniel 6 to find out that Daniel was still alive because the angel of the Lord delivered him, you know? So to all the people out there saying that the Apocrypha is not a part of the scriptures, well, here you have one example, man, amongst many others, you know, of the scriptures saying the same thing, man. Why? Because the Apocrypha isn't a part of the scriptures, man. That's why I entitled the lesson Apocryphal Truths, the scriptures corroborate, because the word corroborate means to back up, you know, and that's exactly what the scripture in Bell and the Dragon does, man. It backs up the account given within the Bible, man. So what the hell are you talking about, man? You know, there's the Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures, man, and I might do some more videos showing how the Apocrypha links up and corroborates and even elaborates, as we have in this case, on what's already in the scriptures, the Bible, man. You know. So with that, I'm gonna wrap it up, man, because the point's been proven, man. You know. So for now, I'm gonna say shalom, but you know, that's that, man. The Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures, man. You know, real wisdom and understanding and elaboration comes through this book, man. You know, and it's set up as a stumbling block, man, so that not everybody can get it. But anyways, you know, like I said, to like I'm all over the place, throwing this video up kind of early today, and yeah, man, you know, the Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures, man. You know, and is with that, I'm gonna say Shalom, man. You know, on to the next one.